Hi, I'm Elaine, and my website is countryhomeandheart.net, and tonight I'm going to be making some old-fashioned country cornbread. So let's get started. Turn this camera down and so you can see what I'm doing. Now in this bowl I have 1 cup of self-rising flour, and in this bowl I have 1 cup of self-rising cornmeal. Now this is not cornmeal mix, this is straight cornmeal. It's self-rising cornmeal. It can be difficult to find, but I think I got mine at one of our local grocery stores here. So that's what I'm going to be using today, and it's self-rising cornmeal, not cornmeal mix. Okay, and then to that, I'm going to add 3 eggs that I've beaten, so I'm getting these beaten up here. And we're going to put those eggs right in, just dump them in. 1/2 a cup of oil, that's just canola oil, nothing special. A tablespoon of sugar. And I have 1 1/4 cups buttermilk. This is whole buttermilk, not low fat. So we want to use whole buttermilk in this so it gives our cornbread enough body to hold together. Now my cornbread used to be very, very crumbly, and I had a very hard time making my cornbread. And a few things I had learned over the years. One of them, I do not use a mixer on this. I'm just mixing this with a spatula. And my grandmother told me the secret to making good cornbread. And one of them, I wasn't using enough egg in it to make it, to really hold it together, but over handling was one of the things, and she said you want to put just enough sugar in it to make it have the sweetness of the corn, but not enough to sweeten the cornbread. And you don't want your cornbread, she said, you don't want it to be like cake, because it's not cake. And so so she told me how to do that, just just enough sugar so that it tastes like the sweetness of the corn. And I'm going to have to get a little more buttermilk, because that's not hardly thin enough. It's still a little too thick. So add a little bit more. So it looks like it may work out to more like 1.5 cups of buttermilk. And again, this is whole buttermilk. Yeah, and that's getting a little better. Okay, I'm just going to add maybe a little bit more. Alright, now I think I have a pretty good consistency on my cornbread, or my batter. You can see what that's like. Okay, now I'm going to get my pan out of the oven. I baked my cornbread in an iron skillet. Cast iron skillet. In fact, the one I have is very, very old. I think it dates back to maybe Civil War times. Very old skillet that I have, and I have it in the oven, and it is getting hot with the grease in it. So I'm going to get that out of my oven. I think it's probably ready. Alright, it looks like it is. Now, let's pour that batter right in there. Hear that sizzle? That's a good sign. We want it to sizzle like that because it's going to kind of fry around the edges and make this really, give that a really crisp, nice crust on it. Alright, and there it is. So I'm going to put this in the oven. I have preheated my oven to 425 degrees. And I'm going to bake this for about 25 minutes. So I'm going to check it. I'm going to set my timer and I'm going to check it. And we'll see how it's doing. And when this is done, I'll plate everything up and show you what it looks like. Because over here in that pot, The silvery colored pot is collard greens, and over there the pot that's kind of cow print is pinto beans, and that's what we're going to be having tonight. And I'm going to cut my husband up some onions because he likes onions. I don't, but he does, so I'm going to cut him up some onions. So we will be back when everything is done. See you in a bit. Hi, I'm back and my cornbread is done, and I'm going to turn this around and let you see it. Okay, there it is in the pan. And I have a plate that I am going to put it in, so let me put this down so you can see. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to take this out of the pan and put it in the plate, and there it is. Set my pan over here till it's very, very hot. Okay, and you see what a nice crust it made. It's got a really nice crust, so I'm going to plate this up, and we will be back just as soon as I get it plated up, and we'll show you what everything looks like. Okay, we're back, and I have this all plated up. Over here is my husband's plate. He's got some pinto beans and a good-sized plate of collards. He's got some cornbread. And over here is my plate, and I have some pinto beans and a little bit of cornbread and some greens. And while I have this here, I wanted you to see my cornbread and see how moist and tender that is on the inside, and how it's crispy on the outside. And that would have made my grandmother proud. So I'm glad that I was able to listen to her and kind of copy her recipe the best I could. But there you have it. So we're going to eat, and thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.